the words of Troy McClure of The Simpsons. Some of you may remember me from the COVID years, when the battle for freedom was, should we be forced to put our nappy on our face, and should we be allowed to go to the beach without being arrested? Followed by, should we be allowed to say no to an injection which may kill us or maim us for life? Some of you may remember me from the media headlines of a racist, horrible, bad apple who stood for council at the local Bustleton election, where the media said, through certain paid-for lobbyists, paid for by your taxes, they hold their jobs, that I should not be allowed to stand in an election because I apparently want to put gas chambers all over every toilet in Australia.
Oh shit.
And some of you may remember me from exactly 1 year ago, when I was arrested along with 15 of my fellow men for singing Waltzing Matilda on Australia Day. And was held in prison, maximum security prison, for 4 months. 13 weeks of which were in solitary confinement.
Shame on the government.
Shame on the government.
I am here today to dispel a myth. You were lied to. You were lied to back in the days of weapons of mass destruction. The media and the politicians lied to you. You were lied to about climate change back in 2007 when Al Gore said the glaciers would be gone by now. You were lied to during COVID when they said 2 weeks to flatten the curve, when all along there were plans to lock you down for 2 years straight. Every single issue in this country that has been important to you, you have been lied to about. But now the media wants to make you believe that they told you the truth about the NSN.
Free Joel Davis!
Free Joel Davis! I spent 4 months in prison without trial. 1 year ago, Joel Davis is coming up to 3 months without trial for telling people like you to criticize a politician.
What the
That is his crime. Criticize a politician, go to jail. Meanwhile, there is a non-Australian who is out on bail for actually threatening the life of the Prime Minister. So an actual, realised death threat gets you out on bail if you are not Australian, but if you are Australian, you get held in jail indefinitely without trial. I want to set the record straight, because it has not just been the Liberal Party and the Labour Party that have been silencing me and trying to silence my friends over the last few years. How do you know when a politician is lying? His lips are moving. Let me set the record straight. We have never condoned violence. We have never initiated violence, but we have had violence acts perpetrated against us again and again and again, and whenever we defended ourselves, they jailed us, not our attackers. I am up here today because there is another slander, another lie, another disgusting untruth that was told yesterday that we have plans to secretly kidnap the Prime Minister.
Who would wanna?
Who's been the ransom?
What a joke!
I wouldn't touch that disgusting filth with a 10-foot barge pole. We do not condone violence. We never have. You have been lied to and lied to again.
Yep.
Before us, they silenced the motorcycle groups. No procedural fairness, no right of appeal,
No.
nothing. And everyone stood silent because nobody liked bikie gangs because of what the media told them about bikie gangs. And now they have silenced the NSN and made us disband for fear of 15 years in jail for simply going and doing push-ups in the park. And they've done it because they've convinced you that the NSN are horrible people who condone violence. No, we do not, have never, never will.
Yeah!
Set the record straight. And after us, they are coming for you.
Yes!
Before I identified as a so-called Nazi, they labelled me one anyway.
Yep.
They already label you Nazis.
Yep.
That's right.
They're coming for you next. These laws must be stopped, and Australia Day must become a political event so we can win back the right to have it as a barbecue event.
Exactly right.
Until these laws are overturned, do not go to an Australia Day event in the future unless it is a political Australia event fighting for your rights as Australians to be Australians. I do not want to be raided because of some lies by the media, because it doesn't take much of an excuse to put somebody in jail. I was jailed for the crime, the made-up crime of loitering.
Yeah.
That was my charge. 4 months in maximum security for loitering. If you think it was bad then, when you could be jailed for 4 months in maximum security for loitering, think how bad it is now that the laws legitimately allow them to jail you for 15 years for doing push-ups in a park with somebody with the wrong opinions.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Stand up, Australia! Stand up! Organise! You can no longer organise in our group, but you can organise in your local churches, you can organise in your local sports clubs, you can organise with other political parties. You must do more than simply turn up to a protest. Find friends, organise, get together and make a difference to this country. Happy Australia Day! One round of applause for Joel!
G'day guys, my fellow Australians, happy Australia Day! Those words used to mean something. They once marked the celebration of a great nation, one of the crown jewels and the greatest achievements of the British Empire. What Australia Day once represented and what it has been reduced to today are two entirely different things. That is why movements like this exist. To show the Invasion Day crowd that we have had enough of being told that we cannot be proud of this nation. To show the weak, corrupt politicians in Canberra that Australians are completely done with uncontrolled immigration. And to show them that this time we're serious. The Australians who built this country, who fought for it and who died for it, did not do so their descendants could be replaced. They did not sacrifice everything so their future Australians would be priced out of housing, alienated from their own communities or robbed of any hope for a secure future. This is exactly what has... this is exactly what we have been handed by lawmakers and elites. Unchecked immigration policy that has slowly eroded the Australian way of life.
Bullshit.
I'm 30 years old. When I was a child, people who immigrated here overwhelmingly assimilated. They respected Australian values, embraced our culture, and genuinely wanted to contribute to this country.
Yeah.
What we see now is different. Large-scale intake without standards or limits, importing social division, crime and economic pressure.
Send them back.
While expecting Australians to accept decline as progress, we have seen where this leads.
Send them back.
Look at Canada. Look at the United Kingdom. And look at Europe.
Yeah.
Europe is the home of most of our forefathers, our ancestors. These homelands are being dismantled by elite policies that openly reject nationalism and national identity.
Yeah.
For those here who do not quite grasp the seriousness of this situation, consider these facts. Australia built 170,000 homes in 2024-2025. Our net migration was 308,000. Simple mathematics would tell me that that is not going to fly forever.
Migration.
Since 2015, 2.9 million immigrants have entered Australia in a nation of 29 million. That is 10% of the population.
10% too much.
Since 2015, Australia has suffered 5 terrorist attacks. 4 of them carried out by individuals who immigrated here. The most recently being the atrocity in Bondi in 2025, still fresh in all of our minds.
Yeah.
Post-COVID immigration levels have accelerated this crisis at an unprecedented rate. We are now so far down this path that Australians face laws restricting their ability to speak about it. To Anthony Albanese and the career politicians in Canberra, I say, get fucked!
Get
To my patriotic Australians here and all throughout Australia, tell them this is our country. Stay organised, stay strong, and make it clear, mass immigration must be stopped immediately. Australia first! Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! 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 Aussie, Aussie, Aussie!
Send them back.
Righto. Nah, get up here, dogs. Come on, get up. Here, come on. Get up, come on. Get up, good dog. Come on, get up. Righto. Now, it might be time for a little Australian interaction with the crowd. Who watched the Scorchers beat them last night? Go Scorchers! Australian culture. That's the purpose of my speech here today. I didn't actually know I was doing this till I got handed the mic, but I've got a little slogan. Righto, righto, righto. Elbow, time to go. Thank you, Sue, for your sign. There, we'll give it back to you nice and safe. So Australian culture, I got up this morning. I went out in the backyard, had a piss and a look around. That's called a swaggy's breakfast. And that's Australian culture. I jumped in the Forward Territory, drove on down to South Cottesloe Dog Beach, took the dogs, Ruby and Rebel, the Border Collie and the Red Heeler. They've come off the farm. I work in mining now. And there's a lot of people here, isn't there? And basically that's Australian culture. People walking on the beach, dogs dropping a load on the beach. I picked it up, threw it in the bin, had a swim, came on down here, and I'm wearing my Coogee Surf Lifesaving Club t-shirt, but then bought one for 25 bucks over at One Nation, changed my t-shirt. Australian culture. When I grew up in the 70s, Australian culture was you bought your house and then you gave it to your kids, or you helped your kids buy their first house. You got married, you went to Caulfield South Primary School like I did in the 70s. You had religious instruction, where you learnt the religious Christian stories that have now disappeared due to diversity, equity, inclusion, which don't include Christianity or the stories of the Bible. The stories such as the Emperor's wearing no clothes, which I found out when I lived in Melbourne during coronavirus. We were bullshitted to by Dan Andrews and his understudy, Socialist Barbie, Jacinta Allen. We were sold out and down the river. I never got vaccinated, I lost 3 jobs. I came to Perth to work in mining, and that's what I'm doing today. And what I see here is what I see all around the country and around the world, because I've travelled extensively. People are good people, like all of us here. We've all got common culture and good values, Christian values, but we're getting walked on, trampled over because we're letting it happen. The one thing we can do is change Australia by changing our vote. I used to vote Liberal, and when I went to the country I voted National. COVID came along and I said no, never again. I voted United Australia Party and helped put Ralph Babbitt in the Senate in Australia. You've got the opportunity to do exactly that. If you're not happy with the way things are, stand up as I am, and I didn't think I'd be doing this today, and have a yak. Talk to your friends, your family, your community members, those that you know. Start posting on social media, because that's the only hope we've got. We've been dispossessed of our guns, and I want to talk about Australian culture. When I grew up in 1972, my parents bought a house at 12 Scott Street, South Caulfield. Dad worked a job, and Mum stayed at home. We had one car. We bought our first house at 12 Scott Street, South Caulfield for $12,000. The average wage was somewhere between $2 and $3 grand a year, and somehow we survived on that, raised 2 kids. My sister and I are now married with kids. I'm divorced, but that's how it goes. That's Australian culture. And what happened was in 1972, 12 grand, 12 years later, 1984, sold it for 70 grand. Dad said, this is great, we've paid the house off. Let's move to Brighton. If you know anything about Melbourne, it's a bit like living in Armidale, shifting to Mossman Park. So we bought a joint there for 200 grand in 1984, and in 1988, we sold it for 506 grand. Dad had never made so much money in his life. He goes, this is unbelievable, I'm moving to the country. He bought a farm. That's when he fucked up. But it's pretty tough making a living on the farm, I can tell you. But what's happened since is that property's been smashed to the ground, and they've built 2 triple-storey houses with a common wall and car parking underneath, and that whole precinct now is worth over $6 million. And I see the same here in Perth. Property is now out of reach for you, your children, your grandchildren. It is part of the Australian culture to own your own home. And I don't know how many times I've heard people say, you will own nothing, you will be happy. No, I'm not happy about that at all. The whole purpose of this country is to have your place, your patch of land where you raise your family, you live your life, you have your memories in your community, because that's what I used to do. I used to go with Peter Ivinskis on our bicycles when we were 8 years old. We'd cycle down to the nets at Caulfield South Primary School, where we both went to primary school, and then we go to the tuck shop, the milk bar, and get some ice cream cones. I think it cost maybe 10 cents. Mixed lollies were $5 cents a bag, and all of that has gone out the window. There is no government in Australia who is interested in seeing you get ahead. Zero. They have no intention of getting you out from under their thumb. They will tax you into oblivion. When you die, you're taxed. When you're born, you're taxed. You're vaccinated. Every single step you take is recorded, documented, to keep you under control. They don't want you living your best life. You are there to serve them. We have to turn that around. So my message today is, you have a brain, you have a mouth, you have 2 arms and 2 legs. Do what you can and lead from where you are. You don't have to be in charge of this, that or the other. We've all got smartphones. Get on it. Get onto your neighbours. Proudly display your flags and your t-shirts. I bought this one today for 25 bucks. Didn't know I was going to do it till I bought it. Australian culture is worth living and dying for, as our ancestors prior to us have done, to give us all of this. When we came here, it was a barren land, and we've created it in 200 odd years. And the future is ours to shape, and we cannot allow anyone to take that from us. So give that some thought and ask yourself why in Hungary, for example, they have a family-friendly tax policy. It is a sliding scale. If you're married, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 kids. You have 4 kids, you pay 0 pay-as-you-go income tax. 0. You have 1 child, you get a 25% discount. You have 2, 50%, 3, 75%. You get to 4 kids, you pay 0. You earn $1,000 a week, you keep $1,000. You don't give up $30 or $37 of your weekly wage to the government. Small and good is better than large and cumbersome. And we are feeding the machine, and it's time to make them starve. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Stick around. Cheers. All right, for Leon, ladies and gentlemen. What a bloody good-looking crowd! Now, before we get started, has everyone put their machetes in the machete bins? Oh, sorry, wrong crowd. Has everybody set fire to a cigarette shop today? Oh, sorry, wrong crowd. Now, 40% of the people they brought over here to do jobs for us haven't taken up those jobs. You know, so if they don't take up the jobs, they should leave.
Send them home! If they're black, send them back!
If you break our laws and you're an immigrant, you should be sent home. So we don't have to pay for you to stay in jail, right? Full disclosure, I was born in the UK. Now my ancestors came over here and took this place for you lot. And I'll tell you what, I'll apologise to the Aborigines when the Romans and the Normans apologise to me for fucking taking England.
Who wants the press back?
You know? 160 people have been shot in the last year and a half. 70% of them have been shot by Muslims. As in Muslim gangs shooting up each other over the cigarette shops and all those sort of things. We spend over $1 billion policing Muslims, you know, for either they're breaking the law or we've got to keep an eye on them for terrorists. Now, I don't think it's unfair to have a look at who's doing all the crimes and saying, listen, they're a little bit aggro from that country, let's not have them. You know, there's millions of other people who want to come over here. I mean, look, this might be a little bit controversial to this crowd, but I mean, look at the Sikhs. Every time there's a fire or something, the Sikhs go along, they fucking they feed everybody, they look after anyone, they don't kill people. Bloody Buddhists don't kill people. You know, we could have had all the Ukrainians or something, you know, but, you know, if you want to see what our future is, have a look at England and Europe. You know, where churches are getting burnt down every 5 minutes. There's 3,000 mosques in Germany now, and all the other Western countries, they've had enough. They figured it out. They're miles ahead of us, and we're too bloody stupid to sort it out. Now, Albo. Now, if you lot were going to pick the worst neighbours in the world, it'd probably be someone like maybe the Palestinians. You know, go over killing people, you know, shooting people and murdering babies and all that sort of stuff. So what does he do? He brings 40,000 of the buggers over here. Now the next thing I'm worried about is he's going to start bringing the Iranians over. Now I'm sure there's a lot of them that are lovely and assimilate and all that sort of stuff, but why take the chance? You wouldn't let a snake in your house in case he bit you. Why take the chance with all these other buggers, you know? Thanks anyway, I love you guys. Eat a meat pie, drink lots of beer.
Okay, thanks a lot. I haven't done public speaking in a while, so please bear with me. So anyway, I'm Stuart. How are we on this National Day of ours? Today is our day to celebrate our nation. A nation built from the ground up through blood, sweat and everything. A nation our diggers fought and paid the ultimate price for, so we can stand here, proud and have all the freedoms we have today. We here is proud to be born and bred here. I'm from the Goldfield city of Kalgoorlie-Boulder, and at the end of July last year, I made the decision to leave the laid-back life of a small regional city behind me and come here to Perth, where life is a bit more challenging, but I'm doing my best. In August and October last year, thousands to tens of thousands of us gathered in the city to rally against mass immigration and everything that's resulted from it. We all know that everything in moderation is good, and normal managed levels of migration is how our country was built. Too much of anything is horrible, and leads to consequential outcomes, and this is exactly what mass immigration has done. It's even brought evil individuals who want to destroy us, and I'm talking about the tragedy at Bondi Beach in December last year. And my thoughts and prayers are with everyone affected. Every single one of us here got shocked to the core when it happened, and even though our lazy PM, who's also incompetent, in my opinion, has recently announced a royal commission, it may not address the main issues, which are Islamic terrorism, but that's exactly what we need if only he would just listen to us. He's gone as far as to make hate speech laws to shut us up. That's an attack on free speech. There is a saying that goes, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all, but these laws go too far and cross the line. I've seen on Change.org multiple petitions for Albo to resign, totaling in about 10,000 signatures, give or take. These evil individuals don't care about us, and if these people don't care about Australia, in my opinion, I reckon that should be sent back. Sorry? Yep. Actually, I'll just skip stuff. I'll skip through. Okay, back on the topic of an actual day. Is this better? Okay, so today we celebrate what's fantastic about this great southern land. So let's bring out our inner Aussie, wave those facts so I'm proud and enjoy it. Thank you for listening to my speech. So hard drive today. My Lord bless Australia. Stand up strong and last for Aussie, Aussie, Aussie!
Everyone can hear me well. You probably know me well as Dr. Mark Loft. I've always spoken against vaccines since 2020, but I'm up here for a bit of a different reason. I want to attack a terrible ideology which has gotten control not just of Australia but so many other countries. It's called white privilege. And this nasty ideology is being peddled by many of the people who are supporting the Invasion Day rally. This disgusting idea says that white people have this secret privilege and that they are basically racist at heart. And this ideology is extremely destructive, and I just want to give people some guidance about how our culture works and who invented this rubbish called white privilege. So many people have contributed to our culture, and that includes full-blood Aborigines. And I draw here, of course, David Unaipon, who was full-blood Aboriginal from South Australia, and he invented, of all things, combed sheep shears, which saved the wrists and arms of so many of our shearers after that, and of course led them to show that Australia rode on the sheep's back in the 40s and 50s. So as for this person who created white privilege, and to see so many white people who are destitute on the streets and so many without jobs, here is his name. His name is Noel Ignatieff. Noel as in Noel, and I will spell his Russian surname. Ignatiev. Noel Ignatieff. He's a Marxist, but he's not a Russian. He's an American. Please look up on your internet or your phone and find about the story of Noel Ignatieff. Then you'll understand white privilege. It's been a pleasure being with all of you. I won't say oi oi oi, but we have to keep fighting.
Hello everyone. I've just been informed we're wrapping up. The videoing today that I've done will be on West WA Witness. It's a new channel I created. I'd like to say it's beautiful to see all us Australians coming out to celebrate Australia Day. And I hope you do still go to the fireworks, but just remember, when you sit next to someone who's Australian, wake them up to this truth. Wake them up to what we're talking about. Show them the links to the videos we've done in the past. Because when all Australia is awake to what is going on, then we will have an army that will go to the polls and will vote out these terrible governments and bring in the great ones that have stood up here today. Thank you very much.